When I was 38 years old, I found a lump, went to the doctor. The doctor told me that he didn't think that it was anything for me to worry about. We would watch it. When I went back to the doctor in September, the lump was quite a bit bigger, so we knew we were dealing with something that was pretty serious and pretty aggressive. I had 6 rounds of chemotherapy, followed by a stem cell transplant. I happened to be there alone. It was my choice to leave my husband home we had 5 children at the time. It was my choice to leave him home so that the children could have normal days and a normal life and not be just, living around my cancer. It was extremely difficult. When you can't carry on a conversation with an old friend who's calling to see how you're doing because you're too sick to stay on the phone for any more than a minute or so because you have to revolve your life around the vomiting part of your chemotherapy. The constant heaving and the constant throwing up brought on migraines, which just exacerbated, how miserable I already felt. And I literally laid in bed and listened to the rest of my family not go on with their lives. Of course, they paid attention to me in there, but I just listened to the things that I couldn't participate in because I was too sick. We tried to revolve our lives around my nausea and vomiting. None of the drugs that were available at the time seemed to do me any good. It was too hard. Sometimes it was just plain too hard. That was 17 years ago, and now last year I had breast cancer again. So I had another high-dose chemotherapy, certainly not as high as the first time. And I did find that the support drugs were a lot better. So I was really pleased the second time around that so much had happened and that the drugs had gotten better and that the chemotherapy delivery was much better, that they were giving me these support drugs before I actually got sick. I wasn't puking out my brains like I was the first time. My message to someone who is just diagnosed is to don't be afraid. It's very different than it was. It used to be a death sentence. It's no longer a death sentence. I recommend that you do your homework, but that you temper that with your gut. I never felt in my gut that the cancer was going to kill me.